Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this one we are going to be reviewing a tank pair. We're actually going to probably do this somewhat third person, more treat this like we were reviewing the match rather than looking at them in two individually, because they're cute as a duo, they're cute as a tank pair. I want to do this a little different and see how things go. But if you guys are enjoying the content, please do feel free to like and subscribe. That definitely helps me out. Or if you're looking to get coaching, you can join my Discord in the description below. And through that, you can see my rates and see the recruit a friend promo I've got going on, save you and your buddy a bit of money, all that good stuff. But for now, let's see what we've got. So we've got a Rein and a Zarya. And let's see how they play together. Let's rewatch that first bubble, because bubbles are going to be everything. It's not true. Bubbles are going to be a lot.
Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
So, not a terrible bubble. Definitely not a terrible bubble, but I want better. And what I mean by that is I'm actually wanting my Rein to already be swinging. If you guys are a duo, you regularly play together, you're on comps together, I would like my Rein to already be swinging when I hit that bubble. So I'm going to do a very minor rewind here and show you what I mean. So here we are. Let's slow it down. And as we go here, Rein's swinging, but he's too far away. Rein gets closer. I'm okay with that bubble, but honestly, my Rein doesn't really want to swing into this Zarya, right? Like, that Zarya still has a bubble. So I'm not super interested in swinging into this Zarya yet. I'd rather swing into this Zarya once the bubble is over, so I'm sort of wasting this moment of bubble, or I'd rather swing into the Reinhardt when he doesn't have a bubble or when we both have bubbles or whatever. But this bubble, you can hit him. It's not terrible. You can hit him with this bubble, but it's a little bit early in that your Reinhardt would be happy to just shield from this opposing Zarya until the bubble's gone, at which point your Rein could be here, get bubbled as he's swinging at the Zarya, get the hit, and be totally immune from damage, etc. Here, your Reinhardt isn't really getting to swing during the first part of the bubble, as you see, because it's only a bubble that he'd be hitting. And your team isn't focusing on breaking the bubble and eliminating the Zarya instantly. You're way too early in it. You're not positioned to do that. So this is a bit early as a bubble. And now your Rein's like trying to get some value out of it. And, you know, he gets a swing sort of, but he has to sort of chase around because it was early and they started retreating because they saw he had a bubble. So for a duo that, you know, wants to be able to punch above their weight, which you can definitely do duo queuing as a tank duo, we can do a bit better. Why are we continuing to swing? Why are we continuing our swing in deer? We don't need to do that. We used our bubble. Clearly, we weren't ready to push with that bubble. That was clearly we're going to play around this choke for one bubble cycle charge to get energy, and then once our Zarya has or is close to both bubbles, we're going to push up and actually take the fight. That's clearly what that was. So don't now be pushing up. If that was to actually push, you needed to do that like 2-3 seconds later when your team was actually ready to follow you in. Your team wasn't ready yet. That's an okay fire strike, sure. Okay, and you should be pulling your Rein back here. Pulling your Rein back here. There's a Doomfist in your backline. Pull your Rein back. You want to be like, no, no, no. I can shield, I can back up. You know, it sucks that this Rein's going to swing at me while my shield is up, but I definitely don't want to be swinging into this team, creating more headache for my supports, more incoming damage coming out the direction of my team when my team is already having to peel the Doomfist. Let your team deal with the Doomfist 5-on-1, while you, Reinhardt, just go, up. I'm going to hard shield and back up, and if the Rein's swinging into me, that's the only damage I have to be taking. And now you are, what is that purple gas? You are red. They have an Anna, so is that a purple ring out? I don't think I saw you get purpled. I'm not clear on what that is. Okay. So you can't hold this space anymore. You're looking to go, hey, how do I re-angle this back out and back up? And let's see what our bubble status is, since we're running our super duo here. Our bubble status is your Zarya does have a bubble and could be getting you out of this focusing beam, which, by the way, if this Echo could aim, would really, really hurt. So this is worth bubbling, because this push is a wash. You were treating this as what it should have been in the first point, which was, hey, let's use the both bubbles to get an energy cycle, and then we'll push when they're both back. So let's use the bubble here to actually block that focusing beam, get the energy, get our Reinhardt out, and then we'll go, okay, now we've actually got 6, we're ready to push, etc. Because we will have the faster respawn. Both sides lost one, you know that. They potentially will get res off there. You'll have a fast spawn. Yeah, just take the 6v6 in a moment. Yeah, there should have been a bubble for that. Zarya? Zarya, we got to talk, buddy. So if we look at this, I know, way too far rewind. Let's go to where you lose yours of Reinhardt. You shouldn't have lost your Reinhardt. I like this. This is good. This is good. Excellent. Your Rein's in trouble, and you have projected bubble. Even if there's no indicators on your screen, I can tell you that your Rein is in trouble without having my memory from when we were looking at third person. You need to check on your Rein. Please do so. You don't, and your Rein goes down to something that you totally could have prevented with your bubble. You have pretty good energy right now. Wouldn't it be great to now push a 6, but you can't because you lost him. And you're not going to be able to send your Mercy into res that or anything, plus your Mercy is hitting the other res. So that's fine, but let's look at what happens next here. Little slow to start shooting at the Doomfist there.
Ready for battle.
You're just purple. No one's actually shooting at you or anything. So, like, I can live with it. I can live with going, hey, I'm going to spend my bubble to get rid of the purple, but I don't actually love it. I'd prefer, because the nade didn't actually hurt you that much, I'd have preferred you round this corner and, like, sort of see, is anything actually coming at me? And if it is, yes, use your bubble on a hair trigger, etc., to remove the purple and get something from that. But I think you're immediately going to blow both bubbles here, and you're going to have accomplished, hey, you removed purple from 2 people, and you get a bit of charge off the Echo one. I'm actually okay with the Echo bubble. I just don't think you also needed to bubble unless you saw damage coming your way here. Because now that 70 energy you had is going to be less at the end of this.
They have been revived.
Well, it should be. Okay. But 20 energy off of 2 bubbles is not very good. So 20 energy off of 2 bubbles is not very good, so you're going to notice you'll tick down pretty significantly before we get back to the next set of bubbles. No. So again, this is an energy cycle bubble. If you're bubbling your Rein so he can throw a fire strike, that means your Rein can't actually seriously push until you have projected bubble back again. Yes, that is how it works when you're working at a high level as a duo. So you're deciding that, hey, I need another energy cycle. You don't need another energy cycle. You wasted your last set of bubbles pretty heavily, or you wasted your personal bubble last time. The Echo bubble was acceptable. But this is one of those things where you look at this and go, hey, because of this, your Rein effectively can't push until your bubble cooldown comes back. And if we look at this, that's 2 seconds. And now you've got to wait 8 seconds before you can really push. Now, you're going to push anyways because you're going to brute force this, and you'll get away with that because this is Plat or Diamond. Well, you might get away with that. But really, anytime you bubble your Reinhardt for a fire strike like that, that's okay, but it means you're bubbling like for an energy cycle and not bubbling to seriously push. Because if he's seriously pushing, he needs to get close enough, he needs to walk up to them and be swinging while bubbled on the real pushes. That's how you are going to carry. That's how you're going to outmuscle the opposing tank line if you are paired up as a tank duo. Rein, what are you doing? So your Zarya has told you with the bubble that she gave you that she's doing that, and then she walked in front of you to personal bubble like that, and then she didn't walk forward. So How I'm interpreting this from the Zarya, this probably isn't what the Zarya means, but how you would interpret this from a good Zarya is, hey, we're doing another energy cycle. Your Zarya didn't need another energy cycle, but that's what you'd have to interpret this as in high level play. This is lower level play, I get it. So your Zarya then went up in front of you, and you guys are on a different page. If your Zarya wanted to be like, hey, I'm going up here to now shield you with my bubble as we push in, I can live with that. But if that's the case, your Zarya is backing out too early. It's okay for your Zarya to take a little damage as you're pushing in here. It's okay for her to get her bubble popped and then take a little damage, etc. There's no discord on the other side that she needs to worry about, and even if there was, she could then play from behind you, from behind your shield, and be fine, and the discord's on her, which means it's not on you, which is great for how this works out if she's playing behind you. But you're now in front of her while her bubble's still up. So again, for a duo, not in love with it. You guys can do the yo-yo thing where you press up with your Reinhardt, you bubble your Reinhardt as he's swinging, you bubble your Reinhardt when he's right here swinging at the opposing Reinhardt, and then you're standing right here, and as he takes damage, you move in, and you're in front of him, halfway in bubble, and he still gets to keep swinging. That's an acceptable thing to do, and you can do that if you're cool tank buddies, and, it's great and all that stuff. But you guys are not on that same page. You're doing, hey, my Zarya goes forward to bubble, to bubble as a shield for me, and then she backs off, and then my Rein goes forward, and, well, what are you doing? Now you're pushing in without any Zarya bubbles as a tank Rein duo. You're like, that's what you're doing, and that's not what we want to be doing. So let's bring this down to 75. That's an overextension. Your team can't support you here, Reinhardt, and you know that there's no Zarya bubbles. And that was a feed that you deserve to get punished for. Fortunately, you don't, because their Reinhardt did the wrong thing, which was charge you. So we can go through this. So if he just kept swinging at you, the only support you had was this Echo and your Zarya, who didn't have any bubbles for you or for herself. And, your Mercy's trying from here, but she can't keep that beam on you through this wall. It's going to fall off in like a third of a second from now. So you didn't have real help from here, and you deserve to get punished going this deep because you went to a place where the entire enemy team could see you, only part of your team could see you. If this Rein was smarter and just swung at you, you'd get crushed. You would. Instead, he's charging you over here where you're now out of line of sight of his team. So that's a gift. That is him literally gifting you back. If you want to overperform as a duo, we got to do better. We got to do what we've been talking about. Okay, let's go back here. You get the frag off that. Okay, you can swing at him specifically based on where you are. Good. I don't particularly like that Fire Strike. That is why you got purpled, but I suppose you hit 2 with the Fire Strike, so I'll live with it. Again, no need to charge here. Charge is like a high risk, high reward. It's actually a high risk, medium reward thing, high risk, low reward thing even. You definitely don't need to be doing this charge in a fight that you're already winning and winning decently handily. Don't go with a high risk thing when you're already leading a fight. You go for high risk stuff when you're behind in a fight, and even then charge really isn't that great, especially since they buffed his hammer damage. It's always been not that great, but it's especially not that great since the opportunity cost of you not swinging your hammer during that time is even higher.
Focus my targets.
No, that was not a good bubble. So your Reinhardt was here, but there's nothing here that can hurt him through his shield. So he could literally just shield. If that was going to be a bubble, again, we'll rewind just like a moment to get there. He wasn't close enough. If that was supposed to be a bubble for him to swing, he wasn't close enough when it went off. And if that was supposed to be a bubble for him to get out, he has a barrier, and that barrier still has plenty. He's got a full barrier to be blocking with as he backs out, and there's no Rein or Briggs or anything or Winston even swinging at him through his barrier. So he can just hold right click and back out if he doesn't like he's here. There's no reason to bubble him. There was no reason to bubble him here. There would be a reason to bubble him here if he could be swinging. And that's what you want. I know you're thinking, hey, but I'm bubbling for my own energy, etc. But you're 100, and even if some of that is from damage you've taken on this bubble, that means that's 40 of this isn't from damage you took on this bubble. The bubble would be gone if this place. You had enough energy before. This is great. You need to be getting more value than just energy out of your bubbles. You need to also be getting Rein swings out of your bubbles if you're a duo. Even if you're not, you should be aiming for that.
Just a scratch.
Okay, so you sort of were playing the, hey, I'll play in here, I'll play in here. You can actually take slightly wider angles from your Reinhardt, especially when you have personal up, and then once your personal gets spent, you move back in with your Reinhardt. Or, if your Rein's close to things, you can go a little in front of your Reinhardt so your Rein can still swing through you while you're bubbling, and then you go back. Those are the two sort of things you should be thinking about with your personal bubble. We've already talked about how to use your projected bubble with your Rein meaningfully better.
Upgrade detected.
This will only hurt.
Adjusting angle of attack.
No. Rein, just ignore the echo. Hold your corner. Rein, hold your corner. Ignore the echo. Let your team deal with the echo. I promise that's right. You guys are spending Valk to stand on point. Close this out better. Close this out better. Don't be spending Valk to do this on point. Their Valk is now over and yours isn't. Yes, they have Nano going, but you can do this. That bubble pains me. Your Rein was not swinging during it.
Adaptive circuits engaged.
That personal bubble was early. Right idea to personal bubble when a grab's coming, but you actually need to know what damage you're blocking off of it. Are you blocking the Rein that's swinging that's coming in here? Are you blocking a nade that you see coming in the air? You can also bubble after you get hit by the nade to do it. Are you blocking these right clicks? Like, you need to know a little more what you're actually blocking, because you might need to block something like a shatter that's coming in this direction, and the bubble will directionally block it if it's still there when it comes. But that's okay.
Reinhardt.
Gale the Mahal.
That bubble was fine. That bubble was specifically to protect him while he was shattering, and, you're worried about asleep, I suppose. You shouldn't be, but you are, so that's fine. I'm not really worried about that. Okay. We'll deal with it. These threats are serious enough. Do you have a bubble for your Reinhardt now that you've committed this big grab that you need him to swing into? Okay, this small grab that you need him to swing into? No. No, you do not. Okay, so in terms of our combo potential so far, the only meaningful thing of value we've seen from our tank combo is we saw our Zarya sort of thought once about, hey, I'll stand in front of you to be your shield with my personal Rein, which is, sort of playing this combo. And then the other thing that we saw is, hey, yes, your Reinhardt got a bubble when he went for his shatter, which is actually a good thing. It can be good if they shatter each other. It can be good if there's a sleep dart coming, etc. But that's the only thing slightly above average, I'd say, for this tank line that we've seen. And if you guys are doing, you want to get that synergy bonus. There's a lot to be had there. So we can get a lot better bubbles. We can get better stuff out of our ults, all that good stuff. We can get better stuff out of understanding when our Zarya can angle and come back, all this good stuff. No. So Zarya needs to push up. Yeah, you have the Widow, not them. Zarya needs to be pushed up. Zarya is not a cart pusher. Zarya needs to be pushed up so that she can maintain energy, get right clicks on enemies that are advancing to charge grabs, all those good things. Like that is a Zarya thing that was thoroughly embedded in players during the GOATS meta. Our poor Reinhardt. There's a bubbled Reinhardt that got to swing at him, get to whiff at him, but now our Reinhardt is going to get the bubble and going to be able to swing back in range, and it's going to be better, right? Right? And it's going to take off the purple? Sorry, you totally let your Reinhardt down there. Totally let your buddy down. Unfriended. Okay, probably not, but something for you guys to work on. Yeah. That Fire Strike's not worth it. You're at half health. You're at half health. You can't cancel a Fire Strike. If that Zarya is just beaming at you, that's going to be more expensive in terms of how that trades out. Don't do that Fire Strike. Okay. And now we should be good to push up on that Rein and swing on him in a second. Okay, so we've got to delay 1 second and then you can start to push up because we're 3 seconds out on bubble. No! No! Reinhardt! Your team is back here. There's an echo shooting at them. If you end this right, you'll end it here. Maybe it would be better to end it here, sheesh. But you're probably going to end this here in the middle of the enemy team that's going to get to crush you when none of your team can support you. If your Zarya communicates to you that they're peeling, that they're dealing with, an off angle, that's fine. You sit here and shield. You sit behind the cart and shield and go, yeah, I'm going to block out the rest of this team from pushing in, from doing work, while the other 5 people on my team deal with the echo. That's how you guys want to do this. Not this charge. Bye, Reinhardt. I mean, I'm glad that Zarya pushed up in time to save you, but that doesn't make it right. Okay. So now we've hit a nice shatter, but can our team really follow up on it, or is the card in the way of everyone but Echo? Okay. Zarya will probably be able to get on Zarya there. I hope Echo goes for any other target besides Zarya, because those are the only meaningful contributions right here. Widow's already dropped, so yeah, those are the only meaningful contributions. Zarya's been what your team can see, and your Echo went for the Zarya. So this is a case of, Rein, you've got to understand where your team is. Both for this charge and for this shatter, you have to have an understanding as a tank player. You really have to have an understanding of where's your team. Can they follow up if you take an engagement? Can they follow up if you hit a shatter? Can they follow up if you charge someone somewhere? Can they follow up if you round a corner to fight someone? And Zarya, you have a little better vision of the team. So you guys as a duo, you can do the, we're not there, looking for shatter, don't, blah, 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 blah. You guys can do a little more watching out for each other, we'll say.
Adjusting angle of attack.
No. Okay, so I'm not going to blame Zarya for bubbling you there. This is kind of cleanup at this point anyways, so we're going to get less picky with our bubbles. But still don't do that charge, please.
Hey there.
Oh yeah, you guys are buddies, teabagging each other. Great. So you actually don't want to just push the cart like this. A, you only get a speed bonus for 3 people on the cart, but B, it's more interesting to make it where you go, hey, my Rein and Zarya are up here, they're enforcing this corner, and now instead of your team later having to push into this group has to make the decision of, do we want to push into your superior positioning to stop you from getting free cart space from here up to here? Do you follow how that works? Like, it's harder to break a corner to push into defensive positioning than it is to hold that defensive positioning in most situations. So when you have the cart going like this after a 1-team fight, you don't want to just go, okay, we'll all stack on the cart. You want to take up a position ahead of the cart, like here or here, if you'd been more aggressive in it, and go, now you guys have to push into us, and we have the strong defensive positioning, etc. And if you choose not to, we're just going to have someone push the cart for free all the way up to here. And then, yes, we'll accept that you have the defensive positioning, but we got to push the cart for free. Cool.
The payload has reached the chip.
No. You guys are on such different pages. This bubble is a, hey, I'm doing this, sort of for energy. I'm baiting. I'm not using this bubble to enable a real team fight. This is like a poke phase bubble, and this is a hard commit. You guys are completely desynced. This is more right than this is in terms of what the right play is right here. I don't honestly love either of them, but this is more right than this is right here. The bigger problem, though, is that you two are on different pages. Even if the whole rest of your team is on a different page than you, and both of you go wild into this fight, I'd be more accepting of that if you guys are a duo than I would of you guys being on different pages. The right thing to do right now is to accept that, hey, your team is playing this poke phase, your team is Widow, Echo, they're back here, they haven't taken their aggressive angles here and here yet. If they had, absolutely, you all in like your Reinhardt is doing. I'd still rather do it with walking forward and getting bubbled and swinging as opposed to charging, but this is a signal of aggression, and I can get behind that, but the team isn't ready for it yet. Not only is the team not ready for it, your partner isn't ready for it. Your partner went with a, setup, poke phase, waiting for another rotation thing here, not a we're ready to commit thing here, because she now doesn't have this cooldown for the commit. That shield on the Reinhardt is strictly necessary because of that charge. Unfortunately, it instantly gets popped, and you get purpled right after it gets popped. So the Reinhardt is just gone. Don't even bother. Just leave. Just leave. Literally just leave. All the way back. Go all the way back to spawn.
Light routine activated. Executing flight maneuvers.
Okay, your Reinhardt's back. Did we have our bubble for this? Did we just not like our Reinhardt? No, we don't have our bubble. Okay. I'm gonna watch from here for a second. Okay, so you could tell your Reinhardt personal in 1, and you could have told him to be pushing up, so he'd be a step closer right now, and then you could take 2 steps, be in front of him, and you personal bubble while he swings. That is a thing you could do right now. And your Rein totally has enough health for that to be a valid play, where you would get the finish on this Reinhardt. That is a thing that would happen right now if you'd done that. Or in 1 second if you'd done that when your personal bubble comes back. No, right now. You got him anyway, that's fine. You're personal bubbling, but this personal bubble is purely for you and you already have 100 energy. That's not good enough, that it's purely for you and you already have 100 energy. You want to go, hey, this personal bubble is here while I'm in this Zarya's face, so my Rein can swing through me and hit it, or you want to go, my Reinhardt's here, and I'm out over here, and I'm shooting at an angle, and being at an angle puts more pressure, more damage. It does. It does. If you're at an angle, you're going to put more pressure on them. It's harder. They're going to end up taking more damage, and then you were able to use your personal bubble, not just for energy, but to enable you to do more damage. Those are both valid options. This is not. Again, up here, this is a valid option. Your Rein can swing through you. Over here, where you're doing more damage, and then if they turn and look at you, you can personal and use that personal to get back to your Reinhardt, also valid. This, not valid. Please have projected for this. Projected. Okay, fine. I know, there wasn't much in there, but like as a concept, I want you to have projected bubble for your Reinhardt, and I want your Reinhardt to be in a position where he can swing and grabs. Because Reinhardt is a big source of your damage into grabs.
Light routine activated.
So again, I know you saw the Fire Strike. This isn't what you want to do. If you're over here, where the Reinhardt is to pick between, am I blocking from the team over here, or am I blocking from the Zarya over here, that's good. Then you can use your personal bubble if you get shot at and move back in towards your Reinhardt, so you're safe when it ends. Or you could be right here between the 2 Reinhardts while your Reinhardt swings at him. Those are both options. These are overlapping bubbles that aren't really protecting more, and your Reinhardt has his shield up. You guys aren't synced at all. We can do better. We can. We have no bubbles for the purple.
Reinhardt.
You guys being in sync wins that fight. It does. Just frag out. Yeah, there you go. Okay, what else do we got?
This is going
Flight
to hurt.
routine.
It's fine, just wait out the purple. Don't waste a bubble on this. Don't waste a bubble on this. Just wait out the purple. He wasn't in real danger. Yes, the Doomfist and the Ball are in, but they're not on your Reinhardt. Your Reinhardt can hold this corner, and your Reinhardt can hold this corner. He doesn't need a bubble, while your team deals with these two threats that have come in here. Yeah, you don't want to be looking for. You can look for that fire strike because you have that bubble. If you didn't have that bubble, I wouldn't want you looking for fire strikes right now because while fire strikes get you your ult, they also increase the damage you take, and you don't want to take any damage right now. You want to relieve pressure on your team by blocking in this direction, while your team deals with the threats behind it, which your buddy can tell you they're dealing with. You definitely don't push out into the open like this.
Focus my target.
You're gonna try and pin that. Of course you are. You're done. Just swing. Yep.
Hey there.
Greetings.
Do you guys have tools to win this? So you have Shatter. They have Valken Duplicate. It can be done. Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
Hello.
You got your Zarya reset on energy.
Hello.
Moving up.
Be a little more head. Okay, fine. That's fine.
Meteor strike.
Yeah, Ryan, block the team. You don't need to turn to block an ball. Even if the ball is shooting right into the back of your neck, you don't need to turn to shield it. Let your team deal with it while you continue to block what's in front, which is the other 4 to 5 players on their team. You also don't need to bubble your Reinhardt there. There's no need. If you're worried about the Doomfist coming in and owning somebody, the Reinhardt is not the person you're worried about them coming in and owning. And if you are, you can react later and still get it off in time. That was way early. You need to react to the Doomfist ability you see coming, not to, oh, I'm worried that one's going to come. So this is annoying. I'm not going to lie, this is annoying. You guys don't have great ways to contest high ground. And they've set up some pretty dangerous threats on high ground. So your two options are you go, okay, everyone huddle together and let's get in here and go up here to go do it. Or the safer option is let's all go back here and go through here to flush them out, etc. I'm going to be honest, this is never going to happen. Never going to happen on ladder that you can get your team to back out and go this way, at least not at this level. So you need to go, okay, everyone group, and then you're going to go here. Or group, and then you're going to go here, which will be safer to get up here, flush them all off. Yes, it's going to cost you 15 seconds. That's better than trying to push as they keep wrecking havoc into you there. Okay.
Dein Teufel ist da.
So, Zarya, surely you're telling your Rein that he doesn't have his team with him, right? That he's pushing into a 3v1 here, 3v2. That he's wasting his shield for no reason. That he's not going to have meaningful follow-up, and if he doesn't immediately eliminate that target with a fire strike, it's not going to be worth it. Good. Got the fire strike, that helps. Still not a great shatter, but that helps.
Moving up.
Or Zarya doesn't have any energy to work with, does she? Yeah, 12. That's unfortunate. What is this personal for? What are you protecting? No. No. personal bubbles are for when you're already taking damage, or if you absolutely have to cure something like purple, getting May frozen, etc. We don't just bubble in a concern that I might take damage. We bubble when we see a projectile coming towards us that we know we're going to get energy off of, or we've been getting shot at and we're missing health, so surely they're going to keep shooting at us. Yeah, okay, occasionally you can break a corner with a bubble up, but that's a much more rare thing, and we're not going to get into that. 95% of the time it's the two things that I said, so don't use this. You're worried that he might use an ability on you. You're worried he might look at you, but there's a Reinhardt between you and him, partially. You have full health, and he hasn't used anything on you, so even if he was going to, he's now going to turn and use it on someone else. You're not going to get value for this. That's way too early on your bubble on Rein. Let him actually get to the enemy that he can swing at.
Focus my target.
3/4 of that bubble before he was close enough to do what he wanted, which in this case was charge, which I wish it wasn't, but hey, I don't write the rules.
Adaptive circuits engaged. Wrecking ball.
Upgrade detect.
Is that a bubble for the fireball? Is that what I'm going to pretend? Is that a bubble for the nade? No, it's too early for the nade. Yeah. Did you even have bubble for your Reinhardt to swing in there if that's what he wanted to do? You did not. Okay. Okay.
Hey there.
We got the cap, but there's a lot we can improve on. Definitely both of those bubble usages. Definitely our understanding of, hey, Reinhardt, where's your team? Definitely our understanding of my Zarya. If I don't see my Zarya beaming past me, peeling for me, it's probably because there's stuff behind us that she's helping deal with, and I should just block off the enemy team. I shouldn't open sightlines. I shouldn't push into them.
Ready for battle.
Sometimes you scare me.
But yeah, you guys aren't even to the like cute ult combo thing yet. At this point, you're to the I want you to always get good value out of your projected bubble on Reinhardt. That is the first thing that you guys need to work on.
3, 2, 1.
And I want you on the same page of whether your first bubble cycle is for energy or for your Reinhardt to do work. Okay, I can live with that, personal. That's too early for the projected, though. Fine, personal. Too early for the projected. Literally just, like, now if you bubbled him, it might be okay, because he'd be bubbled and swinging into the Zarya. But now is, like, 2/3 of a second into the bubble, and the bubble only lasts 2 seconds. You gotta be careful there, Rein. Like, you already got that. I know you want the Rhinolim. Okay, now hard shield. The instant you get the Rhinolim, you hard shield here. You don't keep going. You don't keep going. Don't you dare charge. Okay. Okay. That's like a silver habit, man. You gotta fix that. You gotta. Okay, so Rein, you just saw something that your Zarya may not have, which is that they don't have bubbles. They don't have bubbles. I can almost promise you that they're going to push up to here without bubbles, and then you've told your Zarya that, hey, they don't have bubbles, we're going to push them, and as soon as they get up to here, you're going to mini all in them, which is, hey, you're going to push, swing, get bubbled, and then your Zarya is going to do-si-do in front of you to let you take another swing. Like, it's going to be beautiful, because you saw they don't have any bubbles to match. Even if the rest of your team isn't on board, you're just doing a little thing, and you'll get like 3-4 swings and then get out, and it'll be great. Now, you should be pushing. You should be pushing. Oh, okay, I tried. And that nade wouldn't have mattered because your Rein would have been bubbled. And even if it splashed and got your Zarya would have been bubbled right after. Maybe he charged a Doomfist punch and counter charged it. He didn't, but we'll pretend that happened. No, there hasn't been. Do you have bubble or is he just gone? He's just gone. Even if you stab, yeah, you can't make it in time. He's just gone. Okay.
Adjusting angle of attack. Der Kampf ist noch nicht vorbei.
Hello.
Hey, watching other people's gameplay can be quite funny. Watching my own gameplay can be pretty funny too, but watching gameplay can, it makes you sad, it gives you gray hair, but it can be funny.
Smoke 'em out of there.
The pain.
Objective lost.
Is your team here?
Stop the payload.
This your full team? Yeah. So your comp now has an Ashe and a Pharah. Tosido. Yeah, there you go. There you go. You do want to go ahead and push up and take this. They've got their Ana back here. They still sort of need to deal with the cart a little bit. It's a little dicey, but it's very likely that you can get up here and take this choke and aggressively hold this choke. And that's worth doing. If you can aggressively hold this choke, that's worth doing. The Widow's a little dangerous to you, but you should still be able to enforce it, not let her in, have sightlines, etc. We'll comment on bubbles, because why not? That personal's okay, not great. That projected bubble is absolutely worthless. See your Reinhardt swinging, trying to get value out of it. He wants it so bad, but there's just nothing there because you bubbled him too early. He can use his own barrier to get close enough to the opponents to swing. Your bubble is to protect him when he has to put his barrier down to swing. Reinhardt can't do damage and block at the same time. That's what you help him do, Zarya. You cover those times that he wants to do damage, not the time where he wants to get from point A to point B. That's what his rectangle is for.
Helden sterben nicht.
That Valk's too early, but you guys don't control the Mercy, you're just a duo. Okay, if we've got our bubbles, I'm good with this. Okay, just close the shield, recharge a bit, and then push up while they don't have... You guys win this. Like, you do want to all in on this. You did your weird little Valk thing. You have your Valk going. They wasted their nade. I don't know why you're backing out, to be honest. Yeah, backing out was wrong.
Reinhardt.
Yeah, and? Like, it's a duplicate. So what? Yeah. Even if your team makes a misplay and does like a super early support ult like that, like you still want to push up off of it most of the time. And then especially when they started wasting things, like, oh look, they wasted nade and didn't get value. You're up in the fight, and your team was in a place where they could back you up. And you'd never back to here. I mean, not never, but you didn't want to back to here. If you were going to back up, this was where you then play. This is an abusively good choke. Right here. This is just okay. This is no man's land. We don't play here. We play here, or if we can't get there, because, you know, their spawn's right there and they got a light wipe on us, etc., we can play here. That's just fine, but we don't play here. This is not a place we back up to.
Moving up.
No, still not a place we back up to. You could be like, hey, I'm going to push up to cart, and I'm going to sort of block here as best I can while my team peels out this echo. That's fine. But we're not going to stay here. We're not going to be backing... That poor bubble. That poor bubble. Is that because our Rein is going to shatter at the same time? Is that the plan here? Is it? Is it? I'm kind of down if it is. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, that wasn't the plan. I knew that wasn't the plan.
Justice.
وريهم قوتك.
Do something.
Adjusting angle of attack.
This is just messy at this point, but I can live with it. Good. You should be able to finish that off. Yeah. Did you not have charge? This is the one time it'd have been like, yes, charge him. Okay. Okay. I just can't win. You have to leave. You might have had a chance if you'd been able to hold on to your Rein there, but you have to leave a bit. This isn't enough. You're going to have to back out all the way to this choke. Good. Did you not have personal? You can react to shatters with personal, and it's actually not terribly challenging. Yeah, you had personal. So that's fine. That's just something to work on. And you can do some cool stuff with it if you can react to shatters with personal. So just work on that. That personal was weird. That projected was you're just not letting your Rein have fun. Like we can pretend that your Rein is charging because you're not giving him good bubbles to do swing damage with, so that's why it's charging. That's not true, but if I was being nice to him, I guess I could say that. But like you do need to he probably feels like he can't get work done unless he charges in, so you two need to together understand that he uses his barrier to get close, and then once he's here, he gets bubbled so that he can swing while his barrier is down. That's how he gets his damage done, not charges. But that's a team effort between the two of you.
Огонь по готовности.
You should have your personal shield by now, right? Yeah, you have both. So I like you having an angle, but I'd like your angle to be over here, not back here. Your angle can be over here, and see how easy it is for you to zap that Zarya from here, and then this Zarya has to be like, oh, I'm uncomfortable. I don't like this. I'm going to turn over and shoot at you. And you're like, that's exactly what I wanted you to do. Now I'm going to personal bubble. Like, and I get energy off of it, so I do more damage to you, and I start to drift in here, and now I'm back behind my Rein shield, and I helped preserve my Rein shield. I guaranteed that I got some energy. I took this more aggressive angle on you. Then when you do look at me, people behind my Rein can take easier shots at you, like this. Okay, your fair is not exactly behind your Rein, but you get the idea. That's what you want to do. That's the other good use of personal bubbles that we've talked about, since we've already talked about the do-si-do, as we're calling it. What? Sure.
وريهم قوتك.
Hey Zarya, do you know where your Rein is? I'm not sure why he's over there either, but okay.
Огонь по готовности.
I don't think you're gonna be able to follow up on this. I think she's gonna get healed through it. Okay. Your Echo had some more freedom there than I thought. Works for me. Your Echo, not Echo, Genji, whatever. Yeah, yeah, we're gonna see cross the map charge, aren't we? So, Zarya, you're full health. You don't need to be behind your Rein shield. There's really nothing here that you're super worried about getting you, right? Like, you look at this and you're like, yeah, Widow would be annoying. Yes, Sleep Dart would be annoying. sticky mines, you just personal bubble. Like, you're not super worried. You want to be a little bit in front of your Rein shield when you're full health like this in these poke situations, so that you have a little bit of an easier time throwing out your right clicks, doing stuff like that, etc. You don't want to be like way up here because there is a Widow and an Anna, etc. But you do want to be a little bit in front of your Rein shield so that you're there to hit that personal if they start shooting at your team, etc., etc. Because as you've probably noticed, your team bubble is better for enabling your Rein to swing than your personal bubble is. So you would rather waste your personal bubble sort of on this early poke stuff than your projected bubble on the early poke stuff as they're approaching. So you'd be up here, you'd be doing your right clicks, they'd start shooting at you, you'd personal, you'd throw one or two more as you backed up behind it. Like, that's how you'd be looking to do this. So you should be in front, not your Rein here.
Changing position.
Be careful about letting the cart get between the two of you too often there, Zarya. Your Rein is just sort of your default personal, so you want to make sure most of the time you have physical line of sight on him. You don't have to actually be looking at him, but you have to know that there's an uninterrupted sight line between you and him. Uninterrupted line of effect if you need to pivot and hit it. Okay. So again, you didn't need both bubbles there. Bubbling your Rein for him to immediately go in and swing actually isn't bad for a couple reasons. There was no chance the opposing Rein had chatter, but sometimes right after your Rein shatters, the opposing Rein, that is a slightly increased likelihood that they will shatter. So hey, potentially you're protecting your Rein in case that happens. B, of course your Rein was going to go swing at him. So I've got no issue with that bubble, but there was no reason for you to bubble right behind it. No reason for you to bubble right behind it. Your bubble's here. That's between you and him. That's doing what you needed it to. You have this thing where you like pop both bubbles at the same time. Even if you're seeing like a fire strike that's going through or something, it's just not worth it to go, oh, it's just a fire strike. Let me burn both bubbles. Don't be very careful about this burn both bubbles thing. It's become habitual for you and it's not right.
Adaptive circuits engage. Reinhardt.
Mm-hmm.
Ability increased. Deine Hex burning them down.
I actually don't like you backing out here. Your Genji is committing with a blade, and I know you need healing, but your Anna is healing you. I would prefer you be walking forward to pull more vision. You'll get healed as you walk closer, and then you get to start swinging once you're at, 70, 80% life, and you'll be providing a little more credible help for your Genji. But why walk forward when you could back up and then charge? So the other problem with that is now he's gone, so it doesn't matter. But if you charge, and the other Reinhardt knows you use charge, he now knows he can force a charge into you. He can force a close range battle, hit a high probability charge, and pin you into the cart, pin you into a short wall, etc. And he knows you don't have an answer. You've got to be very careful about showing the opposing Rein that you don't have charge.
And forget like snow from yesteryear.
Okay, I'm good with this. I'm good with this. It's early, man. That personal is early. See your Rein? How he has his shield up against this? So, like, yeah, there's a nano swing coming in, but I'd like him to actually take... His shield is going to block most of this, except the nano swinging Reinhardt. I'd prefer you keep your bubble so that you can bubble him after he's taken a little damage, so that while your bubble's there, your supports have a little time to catch up on the health. that's now protected by the bubble, as opposed to now when the supports can't use this time to catch up because your Ryan's the whole health the full time. I hope that makes sense. And the other thing is, I'm worried that this Anna is going to like splash a nade up on this somehow and get value or something like that. And wouldn't it be nice to be able to cure that? So like just hold this projected bubble for just a second.
60 seconds
Did you
remaining.
have personal? No. Okay. Right. You didn't have personal. You used it right before the graph. Okay. That's fine. Why two bubbles? You're full health. The bubble on your Rein? Muy bueno. Very good. The bubble on you? That's just like, hey, someone else is in danger. I must be in danger too. No. You and Rein are different heroes occupying different locations with different enemies looking at you, different damage coming your way. You are not what you're looking at. You are you. Different place. Putting bubble on someone else doesn't automatically mean putting bubble on yourself. You have to be able to think about two different things at once.
Dein Teufel ist da.
Yeah, I can live with that. Keep the cart there. Immediately pivot. Immediately turn around. That wasn't a great bubble.
Огонь по готовности.
How are you going to follow up on this?
Hello there. Hello. Greetings.
I didn't mix up Zarya's there, did I? I didn't mix up Zarya's. Yeah. So if you're going to grab, you would like to have, if you're going to grab and you don't have a Reinhardt to bubble or Barraging Fair or someone to bubble who's going to do a lot of damage into the grab, you probably, if you plan on being your own follow-up on the grab, you'll want to make sure you have personal bubble available to protect you while you are your own follow-up. And as a higher energy Zarya there, being your own follow-up was totally valid. I just would have preferred you not, you still have your personal bubble, which you did use somewhat ineffectively, literally just 2 seconds
Adaptive
earlier.
circuits engaged. Honor. 30 seconds remaining.
Okay, your buddy's back. What's the point of that personal? What are you doing with it? You need a projected for your Ryan, but what's the point of this personal? And if you still had your personal, you could hold the cart while your Ryan backed out here to, I don't know, get a mega or something, get a mini or something, get healed. Like, you could be the one holding down the cart. You guys aren't on the same page. This matters less on heavy tanks like this and more on dive tanks, but you guys do have to be able to synchronize, hey, you've got cart, I've got cart, swapping out to go get health packs, to swap out to get healed. If you're like Winston, you come down and touch, use bubble, dance, blah, 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 you leap out, you get healed, D.Va goes down and touch, uses Matrix, all that stuff. D.Va goes up, Winston touches, D.Va protects bit with Matrix. You got to be able to coordinate that stuff. Way less important on heavy tanks, but this is a situation where it would potentially benefit you to be able to do that, because now they're going to get a little bit of cart space, or your soldier is going to be in a little bit of threat, but that's okay. You should be fine. They shouldn't actually be able to do it. I just like you to be able to do this better.
10 seconds remaining.
Was Zarya able to get the? No, your Ryan was not able to get the pack. He went for the mini, I guess. You should have bubbles back by now, though. Ryan, why are you pushing ahead of your Zarya? What? Why? Your Zarya, you have half health, and your Zarya had a personal bubble up that was protecting both of you. You weren't able to swing through a personal bubble, but it was still an okay personal bubble. That's the poke phase personal bubble we were talking about. That's a legit Zarya bubble that you've just ruined. It's not like a grade A Zarya bubble, but it's a legit Zarya bubble. Hey, we got swings off of that projected bubble. Good.
Overtime.
And we hit a shatter. Nice.
Огонь по готовности.
Deine Hexe ist da. Dein Teufel ist da.
Do you have a bubble for him? I think you do. No, I'm wrong. I'm gonna stay on Zarya. I want to see when the bubbles come up. Okay, so your projected bubble came up at a moment when you didn't have line of sight on your Reinhardt. So you guys can be a little more synced on that. You should be, a little more bubble in two type stuff, etc., and that'll put you a little more in line with each other.
Ready for battle.
Okay, that's fine. You've got stickies plus a Zarya aimed generally at you,
Maximum charge.
and then you pivot and hit your Reinhardt, who's low enough health that I'll live with it. Okay. There it was, guys. There it was. Did we all see that? Did we all see that? I'm going to wait for chat to catch up because that was what we were waiting for all game. The legit good charge to interrupt the opposing Earth Shatter at close range. Bravo. It doesn't make up for 7, 8, 9 at least bad charges earlier, but that was the moment. Yes. Good stuff. Okay. That was actually kind of fun. I'm probably going to have to look for another one of those to do, maybe with a DPS, probably with a support duo, or maybe just with a different tank duo, but it was kind of fun doing it like this. I don't get to do enough third person since I'm doing a lot of solo coaching right now, more so than team stuff, and most of the team stuff doesn't end up on stream. So that was fun. If you guys have questions, go ahead and throw them up in chat. Meanwhile, I'll do my little outro and then give you guys a moment. So if you guys are enjoying the content, please do feel free to like and subscribe. That definitely helps me out, helps me grow the channel, lets me keep doing this, lets me justify spending the time doing it that I am. Or if you're looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord in the description below. And down there, you'll see what my coaching rates look like. You'll be able to participate in the current promo, which is a recruit a friend, where you can get 25% off for both you and someone else if you both are willing to interested in signing up for some coaching before the end of the month here, and all that good stuff. So yeah, what do we have in chat here? Yeah, no, I like the idea of the tank support duo thing too, and I'm glad Mr. Sonic the Other, that you enjoyed this format. I think this format was fun for me. I think it was fun for you guys. I think we're probably going to do a little more of this in the future. I'll have to specifically go get some tank and support duo type stuff and all that good stuff. Or it can be other things too. Like if we had a nice Hammond Tracer duo, or something like that, or we could even do a Mercy Echo type duo. That's a little less interesting, but we can look for some more cool duo stuff like this, I think. Anyway, that was fun. That's what I've got for today. I don't think I have anything else in my catalog that looks super interesting to review for today, so I think that's probably it for tonight. But it's been fun. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.